Hello, friends. It's Nancy from Astrology and Angel Mediums. Today, with a slightly different video. I wanted to talk about some of my favorite oracle decks that I use for client sessions. So, I presently do a lot of readings in person at Celestial Salt and other events as I live in Colorado Springs, Colorado. So I also do, local little happenings and things like that. And I usually carry about the same amount of decks or the same kind of decks. There's some that I kind of switch in and out. So I thought it'd be fun to just kind of talk about why I like using these decks for my little kit that I put together before I go to like certain events or whenever I'm doing readings at some of the local shops. So I do carry a couple of tarot decks with me. Typically, I am going to stick with the Spacious Tarot and also the Rosebud Tarot. Now, the reason why I love these is the imagery is simple, it's beautiful, they're very different in energy. I feel like the Rosebud has a little bit of like this push towards more of like personal self-development and connections to others, if that makes sense. And the Spacious is just really great for getting clear messages and really connecting to that energy in different ways. So these are like the two tarot decks that I use. I also use a bone and charm kit that I've put together over the years. It's a clariomancy. So I do read bones and charms. I have a little special box that I've kind of made for my kit to be, I guess, like a safe way of throwing stuff so I don't lose my items. And, it's like I'm doing reading, so it looks like a big book. I don't know. I had the idea to do it one time and I was like, I need to kind of utilize that. So I'm going to talk about some of these oracle decks that I have. So I actually usually carry something like this. And it has actually 5 decks in here. So it's funny because people are usually like, oh, you don't really have that much stuff with you. And it's like, no, there's 5 decks in here. So we'll talk about everything that's in there in a minute. If I can remember all of their names, I will try my best. But I do have some unique decks that I like to kind of add to what I'm using. And so it just depends. Sometimes I kind of switch things out and I'll kind of talk about some of the ones that like I'll switch out, but then the ones that I usually always have in my kit are going to be basically everything that's in here. I love the Elemental Empath Oracle. It's just a very beautiful, like divine feminine kind of energy to it. The cards have a lot of really beautiful artwork and the messages are really nice and soothing. There may be a little bit of nudity, so I'm like hoping I don't get in trouble for this. Things like that. So, and it has like all shapes and sizes in it, which I do really enjoy. Oh my gosh, I keep like going to like the naked cards. I promise they're not all naked. And so it just has this beautiful energy to it that I think is just really nice to use as almost like an affirmation, but then also a reminder that maybe people are on the right path. So it's a very nice deck to include with my readings and that I really enjoy. Another one that I really, really love and have come to really, really enjoy using is this Inner Child Oracle. I think that not just the fact that inner child work is something that's really beneficial and, fantastic to focus on. I love Amanda Lynn Aisling's artwork. And so I actually do use one of her other like indie decks in my kit. And I love the messages. It's easy enough to kind of connect to the imagery and to the actual like labels on the cards. So it is very nice to add this with client work and just kind of helping people maybe feel a little bit held, I guess, in and having an opportunity to feel a little bit safe talking about these things in a way that doesn't feel like it has to be such a hard thing to start on your inner child's healing journey. So I do love this deck. This is her mass produced deck that was printed, I believe, by Hay House. So it's a really good one if you're looking for an inner child oracle that maybe isn't super heavy to work with. I highly recommend that one. Another deck that I really like to add in is The Mystical Journey by Tennessee Charpentier, I guess, or Charpentier. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. And you may recognize some of these images because there's going to be, I do use this in like some of the like card readings that I have been doing on here because I just love the energy of these cards. I think it's wonderful to have some of these messages, and the imagery is just, it really just opens me up to being able to like focus on different things and being able to share those kind of messages that really do talk about the mystical journey. So it's a beautiful deck, and it looks really cool too. And so this one is actually published by Rockpool Publishing. I have quite a few of their decks. I do really like that they do stuff that's a little different. I also like the Dark Magic one. I've been kind of adding this one into my collection of cards that I take with me. And the reason why I like this is that I feel sometimes a little bit of an invitation to look at some shadow work is really nice. And these cards have a little bit of that without being super overwhelming or super dark. I have the Dark Mirror cards. Those are a little bit heavier. They're a little bit harder to kind of process. I think that these have a little bit of that dark imagery, but then also a lightness in how there's these different things to kind of talk about and kind of open up conversation with clients. So I really do like these. It's not my favorite whenever they're like this, what is it, the shiny finish, because then it's like lighting looks wild. But I mean, there's some really beautiful images on this. And so this one is by Fiona Horn. And I think this one was also published from Rockpool. Again, I like to kind of just get stuff that's a little unique, a little different. I think it's fun to have something that maybe not everyone is always seeing and maybe not the traditional. So I know one of my other videos, I said that like I make these little like tarot cloths, and this is one of them. And it's just nice because it holds my ducks, and then I can also read on it, and it's a clean space. So one of my all-time favorite oracles is The Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette Baron Reed. I know it's very old. It's not a new deck. Something about these images, the different things that are kind of included in this deck have such depth to them that it's so nice to add in for a reading. Because when I'm doing readings, I am pulling tarot, I'm pulling affirmation, I'm pulling oracle, I'm pulling Lenormand. I do a little bit of everything. And I just love how well these cards tend to play with with other oracle decks, and then also with tarot decks. So I just really like the messages here. I like that it's just easy to connect to. At least for me, I find that it's a very fun deck to have, and clients seem to like it and respond very well to the images because there's nothing too crazy or heavy in it. Another deck that I really love is the Queen of the Moon Oracle by Stacey DeMarco. I really love Stacey DeMarco's decks. But this one's a little different than some of her other ones. And I do like this because as a native Cancer moon, I love moon stuff. And so I like to kind of focus on the different lessons that can kind of come from the different moon phases. And then I really do like that there are so many different opportunities to kind of dive into different messages and messaging to kind of utilize in a reading. So I really do love this deck as well. And that is why I also include it in my little collection of stuff that I constantly have with me whenever I am doing sessions. So I'm like, anyone who's had a session with me more than likely has recognized that I do use these decks. Now, what's in the bag? Oh, I forgot. I also carry this little bag. because I love Valfrey's artwork, and it was like a Ipsy thing, but it's like so cute and witchy and like this beautiful kind of iridescent pink. And it's like lipsticks, and I love makeup. Anyways, um, so I was like on Facebook one day and I found this random ad and I purchased these random cards and they have been so nice. Now, they're literally like someone printed them on just maybe kind of cardstock. I think they're meant to be colored. I haven't taken the time to do that. So I don't know how long these will last. I do try to keep them protected and not get them wet or anything like that. But I do like the messaging with them. It's not my favorite artwork, but I do really enjoy the messages that kind of come through with these cards. And I just think it's interesting to just have something that's a little bit different, to just kind of connect to, that's a little bit more simple, not super crazy like messaging or anything like that. It's just something that you can kind of add in as an affirmation or as a reminder. And then I also have this other little independently printed deck. I think it was called the Inner Landscape Oracle, I believe. But I just love that somebody drew all of this stuff and put together a beautiful deck. And so I love using this because I don't know, something about it just really speaks to me, and it's just so different. And I love this size too. As you can see, I don't have very big hands. This is like a bridge size. I have very small hands. So it's nice to have these little oracles that are, for me, like perfect hand size. So moving on to what is in the bag, the big bag of decks. I think I just paper cut myself. Okay. Of course, the Oracle deck would cut me. So the very first deck that I include in here, and you will have seen this in my other reading decks, is the Sacred Symbols Oracle by Marcella Kroll. I really, really love this deck. This is like her maybe third or fourth edition, but I just love the simplicity. I love how real it is. It has a little bit of everything. It is just such and I love this iteration with all of the colors. I do have her original Sacred Symbols. I don't use it any longer for my public, like going out in public and letting people kind of touch my cards deck any longer, just because I'm afraid that it'll get damaged. And since it is kind of like the original printing, I just don't want to share it with anybody. So maybe I'll post a video with those cards here at home, but I'm not going to be sharing that out in public. So the next deck that I really love is the Mystic Rebels Oracle by the Merhipsy. This is just, I don't know, something about this, just, it works. It just has a little bit of everything. I love the artwork. It's so different. It's like collage, but then like not. I don't know. I just love it. And I love the messages in it. I don't usually like decks with people in them. So I was very surprised at how much I ended up really loving using this deck. And I've just been using it for years. And here we are. Next up is going to be the Nature Nurture Oracle. Again, this one is also by Marcella Kroll. This is her mass-produced deck. I have the tiny one too, and again, I've put it away to kind of just have it in my collection and not have to share with anybody. But I love this because it's got those beautiful colors. It's simple. It has beautiful messages. It's just fun to kind of add in with readings. And so this was mass produced by Sterling Ethos, for those that are like looking for something. Next up is the Modern Spiritual Latina Oracle, long name. And this is by Jasmine Alejandres Prasad. I have to use this. Like, I am una mexicana, and I just love the imagery. I love the connection to my cultural practices, the addition of Spanish words in here, the, different goddesses and energies that are connected to my culture, my upbringing, and things like that. I love these images of these things of like the indigenous peoples of Central and South America. It just really speaks to me. And and who doesn't love a holographic card? I mean, that is like wicked, right? So, this is something I do use with all of my clients. I don't just use it for Hispanic clients. And then finally, I don't remember what this is called. I don't know if it's the Wilderness Collide or something like that. I don't remember what she called it, but Amanda Lynn Aisling also created this deck, and I just love the imagery here. And it pairs so beautifully with the Rosebud Tarot because it's kind of a similar vibe with the cards. And so it's just an affirmation deck. I love it. It's beautiful. It's simple. It has just enough of like what you need to hear and what you need to kind of focus on. And so I just love that it has a little bit of that. And it also, I don't know, something about like these vintage pictures with like these like modern elements. It just really does something to me. And like my brain just scratches my brain in like the best way. So those are a few of the oracle decks that I like to add in for my readings, as well as like some of the other decks that I like to kind of include for my like in-person work. So I hope that you guys kind of enjoyed this. I was wondering of like what I should post. And so I just thought it'd be fun to kind of talk about like what I like to use, what some of my favorite decks are, and what they kind of look like. So let me know what your favorite deck is, or what deck are you really loving to use when it comes to either your personal readings or the readings that you perform for others. But thank you so much for joining me here. Have a wonderful day. Take care. And as always, make good choices. Bye.